Simon from I Do Canals. Karen's not here today. She's not feeling very well. She's got a bit of a bug. So we're going to buy a nice takeaway tonight. Today we're at the Purton Hulks Ships Graveyard. And it's between the Gloucester Sharpness Canal and the River Severn. It's quite a thing to come and see. I highly recommend you come and do it. Some 86 boats were deliberately beached here between 1909 and 1965. And they were beached and embedded into the bank to stop the River Severn, the mighty River Severn, from eroding it away and destroying the Gloucester Sharpness Canal. They had some really heavy-duty flooding in 1909, and it was that prompted this. Some of the boats have been here so long they now can't see them, and there are other boats on top of them. The boats came from all over the United Kingdom, and an enormous variety. All were commercial boats that had unfortunately outlived their usefulness in the declining canal transport industry, whilst others had simply reached their end of life. The boats types include dock lighters, schooners, wooden and steel barges, trows, ferro cement barges, and even a steel screw car ferry, and much, much more. Since 2000, archaeological investigations have been undertaken to find out more about the vessels and their varying states of decay. Some explanatory labels have been provided alongside some of the boats. We'll show you some of those shortly. One barge has been scheduled as an ancient monument, and several are included in the National Register of Historic Vessels. The River Severn is the longest river in the UK at some 220 miles, and with an average water discharge of 3,800 cubic feet per second at Appley in Gloucestershire. In terms of water flow, it is the greatest river in England and Wales. At its peak, the water flow was measured at an astonishing 18,840 cubic feet per second. Though this was the maximum ever recorded, and this was the 21st of March 1947. To get your head around a cubic foot, it's about a household bucketful. So 18,840 buckets every second. Sheesh! Here's a few of the details placards we mentioned around the boats. Britannia, built in Gloucester, Frederick Charles Hipwood, 28th of May 1878, beached here on the 8th of March 1944. King Sally of London arrived in Gloucester 21st of July 1940 and was beached in the winter of 1951. Rockby, built by Joseph Barnard Gloucester in the 1890s, beached in the 17th of January 1946. FCB 67, that's Ferro Concrete Boat, Waits Building Group Limited, 1941, beached in the spring of 1962. The Dispatch, built Geddy of Spaymouth, 1888, beached in the autumn of 1961. Ada, built by Thomas Gardner in Bristol, 1869, beached on the 24th of March 1956. Briton Ferry. This was the Briton Ferry, and 16th of March 1911, it was built, beached pre-March 1957. Dursley, built by Joseph Barnard of Gloucester, 1926, and beached in 1963. Edith, built by William Hurd of Chepstow, 1901, and beached circa 1962. FCB 78, again the Waits Building Group Limited, Barrow-in-Furness, 1941, beached in 1964. Harrier, built in Honey Street, Robbins Lane and Pinnegar, 1905, beached 1964. This is the boat that is the designated monument. Egra, built by Samuel Hipwood in Gloucester, 21st of April 1876, beached circa November 1951. Huntley, another one by Joseph Barnard of Gloucester, 1910, beached in December 1962. There are many more of these little placards around the site, and these are just a handful taken at random. Now, a little word of warning. If you fancy coming down to here and it's been raining, bring your wellies or your walking boots. We've been here in the sunshine and we've been here after serious rain, and it can get really claggy underfoot. Just definitely bring something that's going to cover your feet ends and keep them dry. When I first came here, I noticed two boats out in the middle of the River Severn at low tide, and I thought they were part of the Purton Hulks that had kind of drifted out, but it's not. If you read this plaque, this was erected on the 50th anniversary of the wreck of those two boats, and that occurred on the 25th of October 1960. And the two boats, the Arkandale H and the Wasdale H, were sailing in thick fog, and they were very difficult to navigate. One boat hit the other, and then both boats, in the strength of the River Severn, bashed into the River Severn and Wye Bridge, railway bridge. And they brought down two spans. But worse than that, out of the 8 crew in total, 4 on each boat, 5 men lost their lives. A little later, a few years later, attempts to rebuild the bridge were put into effect, but even more damage was caused during that. And in the end, they took it down. You can see the wrecks over the top of this fence post, way in the distance out there, in the middle of the River Severn. We'll get the drone out there and we'll have a good look at that. But it makes for interesting reading if you come down and have a look. There's a picture here of the bridge, multiple arches, steel structure, some concrete at either end. We're going to go down and look at this tower here. This tower was a swing bridge support, and it was so that bigger vessels could go down the Gloucester and Sharpness Canal and underneath, and it would turn around. All the steelwork's gone. There's just the round tower. We'll go and take a look at that. There's loads to see here. The rise and fall of the Severn Railway Bridge. The Gloucester and Sharpness Canal Company struggled to develop an export business, with many of its boats often returning empty. For best profits, boats should carry cargoes in both directions. Across the River Severn lay the Forest of Dean and the Wales coalfields. In the late 1800s, the Canal Company recognised the value of their coal as an export cargo. The completed bridge had 21 spans and the swing bridge to bring coal and other cargoes into Sharpness Docks. This radically developed the commercial cargo profitability. However, disaster struck on 25th of October 1960. The bridge was critically impacted by a tragic accident. Thick fog and strong tidal forces impeded boats from accessing Sharpness Docks. The Wasdale H and the Arkandale H both went upstream so they could turn and make for a better approach to the docks. The boats were carrying cargoes of oil and petrol. The Wasdale H collided with column 17, her petrol tanks ruptured, and the strong tide pushed the Arkandale H on top of her. The combined collision brought down 2 of the bridge spans, a gas main and an electrical cable. An enormous explosion followed. Both barges burst into flames. The floating and burning oil spread the fire over the river. Only 3 men managed to swim to shore, and the other 5 tragically perished. Both tankers now lay side by side, bow to stern, in the muddy riverbed. This very solid, sturdy looking round tower is all that's really left, other than its opposite partner over the other side of the canal here. of the River Severn and Wye Bridge. The scale model here really shows just how big it was. We've had a good look above. This is also a really nice spot to come and bring your boat along and stop for a picnic. Steve and Christine here in the Crispy Duck are locals and use this spot regularly. Had a nice chat with them and they're hopefully going to follow our YouTube channel. 5 minutes ago it was raining, now the sun's coming out. The weather is really up and down, it's almost like a politician's conscience. I'm not saying which politicians, just a politician. It's quite impressive, isn't it? And when you consider the span here, the River Severn here is about 4,000 feet across. And the bridge was many arch spans all the way over. And the two boats that brought down 2 of those spans in one go. We were here a few weeks ago. The sun was out then. It was really bright. And the tide was out like it is today. That was a pretty good coincidence, to be honest. But we did a lot of talking and videoing up and down here. The sound quality wasn't very good. We didn't have these. We didn't have a radio mic. Now we have 2. And the investment is really, really going to improve our video quality. But whilst we were here last time, my son's helping me, he's behind the camera right now. And we were watching out in the river over there. And there was 2 chaps walking along the mud flats or sand flats out there with a dog. And we tried to get down, we couldn't get down, it was really muddy. And we're way over down by the ferro concrete boats and doing our last few filming shots. And these 2 really muddy guys, muddy up to here, walked past. And I said, "Are you the chaps that were out there, out in the flats?" And they went, "Yeah." I said, "Will you come and have a chat on camera?" And they said, "Yeah." I said, "Look." So they did. Here's what they said. The volume isn't great, the sound recording isn't great, but it's quite interesting. Here you go. So Neil, Dan, what have you been doing?
Well, there's an old oil tanker out there in the middle of the river that sunk in 1965, and our mission was to go out and see if we can stand on it without upsetting anyone or hurting ourselves.
Did you crawl there?
Over these rocks you can get there and it's reasonably dry, but it's a bit scary.
Right.
On the way back, someone called Speedline said, "It won't be the same if we don't crawl through the mud."
So this was deliberate.
Yeah,
of course.
So
That's awesome.
We've done it before, but you can't, with the River Severn mud, you can't walk through it. It's really up to
my son, who's sort of a camera assistant today, we tried, we looked at a couple of areas, but we got all this kit. We couldn't.
Yeah, no, it'd be swamped.
But I didn't know that these 2 boats, they wrecked the bridge. They're the ones that wrecked the bridge.
Yeah, they were coming into Sharpness, about a mile down there. It was foggy. They missed the dock on a rising tide, tried to turn round and sideswiped the bridge and destroyed the whole thing. Wow. And there was some men died there. I think 4 or 5 were drowned. And but what we were saying is, if they'd known what to do and they'd kept head on, I think they'd have got through. The pillars are quite far apart. I think turning round was probably really split second.
I've seen the plaque about that up there, and we'll get a shot of that later on.
Yeah.
I had my drone out there earlier on, flying around and just getting some video.
Yeah.
And right the way across to Wales at one point.
Yeah.
But yeah, we wanted to go in, but it was.
Well, if you go over that rocky spit, and it's a bit wet, but it's not sinking sand, and you can get down to it. But don't go. Let's go in the mud, Dad. No.
I'll shake hands, but I don't think I will. Yeah. Nice one.
See you next time.
Cheers. All the best. There, look at that. Cheers, guys. Thanks a lot.
Mommy's got you your sliders.
Oh, she hasn't. Oh no. Are those your shoes?
Yes.
We wondered whose they were.
Lost shoes.
About that.
Cheers and see ya.
Those 2 chaps just appeared, absolutely covered, head to toe, literally head to toe in mud. I said, "What's going on?" They'd been out. The 2 hulks that I've been videoing earlier are actually the wrecks of 2 boats that brought down a bridge that used to be out there. So I've got to find some more information out about that. But it just goes to show, we were going to go out and try and video, and we looked at it and we thought it does look a bit mucky. I don't think I've seen two people as muddy as those 2 fellas. So if you are coming down here and you want to go out there, bring yourself some clean clothes, because you won't be a pretty sight by the time you come back. I did a fist bump. I was covered in mud, absolutely covered in mud. Well done, chaps. Nice job. So we're coming to the end of our Purton Hulks video. River Severn is not all the way in yet. I think it's got a few feet to go. It's stopped making a load of noise. It's going by quite quickly though. The Washdale and the Arkandale have gone to bed for the night under a few feet of water. And the fellow concrete boats here and over there are going to continue to hold up the embankment, well, forever probably. If you've enjoyed the video, please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button too. We have more videos coming soon. By hitting the subscribe, you'll get a little notification when we put a video up. Karen couldn't be here today. She wasn't very well. She'd have been here with her horse's head, no doubt, horsing around as usual. So we hope to see you soon. Thanks very much for watching. Bye-bye.